Hi everyone, welcome to I'm You, and again, thank you for joining me and supporting me here on this platform, here on Patreon. It means a great deal to me. I hope this music isn't too loud. But this is going to be your influential interference reading, and with this reading or with this video, we'll discuss this week. And this is from whenever week you decide to watch this because all of my readings are timeless. But this video is going to talk about some negative influences, whether that be people, habits, or mindsets, behavioral patterns, all of the such. Anything of a negative nature, these are going to be some things that we're going to bring to your awareness so that you can be sure to not ignore it, but to avoid it. Okay? So what I want to go ahead and do for you right now, either you could choose a number between 1, 2, or 3, or I'm going to throw these astro dice here. This could either be your placements. So if you get these placements, and these are your placements in your birth chart, this can mean that this message is especially for you this week from whenever you decide to watch this, or you could just choose it based on what comes out. You'll see what I mean. But whatever option that you pick, I'm going to reveal at the end a specific shadow negative energy that you want to pay particular attention to so that when you see it, you can move in the best direction for you and your highest good. Okay? So let's see. Either you could choose a number, like I said, between 1, 2, or 3. Or you can choose, again, number 1. You will be number 1. Okay. Number 2, you have Gemini. And then we have, I really want to say that this is, that's Mercury. Give me a second, you guys. I'm trying to figure out what this symbol is. Hold on. Okay, you guys, I looked at it. It's, oh, you know what I just realized? My mic is all the way over here. Let me just go ahead and put that on. Maybe you can hear me a lot better. Party foul. But anyway, no. So I looked it up. This symbol is Pluto. So either you can have Pluto in the first house or Gemini in the first house, or you can have Pluto as your Gemini placement, or just Pluto, like I said, any one of the such. So if this is your natal placements or one of the things is your natal placements, this means that this message could be especially significant for you. Or like I said, you could just use those as options. So option number 1, you would be number 1. Option number 2, you would be Gemini. And then option number 3 would be Pluto. Okay, so that's how we're going to go about this. So we are going to start off this reading with the Shadow Work Oracle deck. And this is going to be the collective negative influence that you want to be sure that does not interfere in your life and whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish in your goals or your personal fulfillment. So let's see. What is the negative influence for the collective this week that they want to be aware of so that they can be sure to avoid it and that it don't interfere with their life right now? So we have defensiveness. And it says, hear other people's perspectives and feelings. Shift your focus to them. It's not always about you, collective. So what is it that you feel like you have to guard yourself against? What is it that you feel like you have to fight for? Because this to me feels like this week you feel the need to prove your point. Why do you feel like you got to prove your point? Who cares if your point is proven? Not to say like your point don't matter. Yeah, it might matter to you, but who's to say it's supposed to matter to the next person? So what I want to say is don't force your beliefs or your opinions on others this week, collective, and don't let other people do that to you. Someone here is being selfish. thinking that their life and their problems is the most important thing in the world, and that other people don't have as bad as problems as they do. That's not true. Someone here is disengaged with another person's emotions. I just heard insignificant. They feel like their emotions is insignificant if it's not what that person is sharing and experiencing in pain. If that is not what is being discussed, the other person does not care about what this person feels. They only care about their pain, their experience. They cannot empathize with another person right now, and that is the issue. See what's at the bottom. We have addictions. Think about the emotions you are trying to cover up. Deal with those emotions, process, heal, and release them. Someone is trying to make up excuses for why they still have a habit. And whenever someone tries to give them a reality check, like an intervention of some sort, they become all defensive. They become argumentative. And they, again, give all these excuses as to why they can't give this thing up. An addiction can be anything, you guys. Drinking, smoking, popping pills, relationships that are toxic, social media that is not a good influence on our psyche. Just anything. Food, overindulgence, exercise. Having a perfectionistic appearance. That's what I was trying to say. Like I said, addictions can be anything. Just give me a sec. I'm trying to see what else I can get here. I'm trying to see what is this emotion that you're trying to hide away from yourself. There is something within you that is saying, I am not okay, and you're ignoring it. Rather, you're stuffing down this emotion with an addiction. And whenever situations happen or where people come to you and they try to address that problem that you're trying to push down, that emotion that you're trying to push down, whenever they try to bring awareness to it, you become defensive or collective. This is what you are experiencing with another person. So let's dive into it. I want to see what this emotion is. Trying to see which deck I want to use. They're telling me after tarot. So this could be a reoccurring situation or a reoccurring a debate that you have with someone. Maybe someone keeps giving you the same old excuses, given in different words and phrases, but in substance, it's the same old thing. I'm over here talking about my mic. My mic ain't even plugged up. I know y'all can still hear me, but I know y'all can hear me a lot better, can't y'all? My bad about that. But anyway, let's see. What is this defensiveness and addictions all about? Okay. Oh, we got all of your cards. Good. So first card out is the Five of Cups. And then we have the Moon. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so let me go ahead and meditate on these cards really quick, and then we're going to break this down each by each, and we're going to clarify as we go. Alright, so we are going to clarify each card using the Inner Child Healing deck. Okay. So, starting off with the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is the energy of remorse, and usually a situation, or no, not a situation, but it's usually a time for where you feel bad about something that you did that was deemed as wrong, or something you just feel guilty about. And again, and it's funny that this is the first card that comes out and I use the After Tarot. Whenever I use the After Tarot, this for me tells me that this could be about something that has already happened or is in the process of happening and almost ending. Or this is like the aftermath of something that just recently happened. And the Five of Cups is the energy of, again, feeling bad about something that you did wrong that happened in the past. And you're feeling, again, remorse for it. So this is telling me that there is something collected that you feel guilty about, that you know, like there's something that you know that you are doing, possibly an addiction or addiction to someone or some mindset, behavior, or whatever, but there's something that you are involved in that you know that you shouldn't be. You know that there is something that you are doing that is not good for you or your health or your emotional state of well-being, and yet you are still involving yourself. You are still doing something, and yet what's worst about it is that you are defending this. You are trying to justify this thing that you know is not good for you. Okay? And it's like deep down you feel bad about it, but I'm sensing a sense of pride or just a fear of admitting that you're wrong. So intuitively, I'm picking up Leo energy because they usually are the ones with the most pride. We can feel it some kind of way because I'm a Leo. But anyway, and then, oh, by the way, I'm looking at my notes if you don't already know. If you watch the other readings, if you're here, you know what I'm looking at. But the Five of Cups, when that comes out, this talks about something that you may have left behind, or you may have felt forced to leave behind because of what has already transpired that was not approved of, something that was done in an unrighteous manner. So this is saying be careful, because whatever this is that you are trying to defend, it could cause you to lose what truly matters to you right now. And you won't realize that until you lose it. And that could be anything. That could be your health, that could be important relationships, that could be what truly makes you happy that you may mistakenly take for granted, that you won't realize until it's gone. So whatever it is that you are trying to defend, stop defending it, and just admit that this is not good for you, that it don't serve you, it drowns you out. And let it go. And realize what is there, what's left behind, and what truly serves you, what truly benefits you. Don't let it be something that you realize too late, when you can't have this good thing anymore. The good thing is it's upright. It's saying, yeah, you have to give up something that you're trying to defend, but the good news is you will be left with what truly matters. So just let it go. Let's see, where's this Five of Cups? Why is this here? Okay. So it says, in the past, or maybe even right now, you felt devastated, or you feel devastated. So that is a good energy of a good energy to represent the Five of Cups, because the Five of Cups again is that energy to where you just feel sad, you're in sorrow, you're in your deep woes, like just like that guy is in the back. Okay, he's deep in the woe waters. Okay, and it says now, or right now, you are learning or have learned how to overcome loss, rejection, and sadness through communication and processing your emotions. And that makes sense, because the card that came out was addictions. And it talks about dealing and processing and healing your emotions, and then also releasing them, which is what is being represented by these spilt cups over here. Okay, he couldn't drink anything that was in these cups. Nothing that was in these cups was water. Okay, he couldn't drink that. And though it looked colorful and looked bright and he thought he could drink it, that's what this guy did. And eventually he ended up in the water somehow. Let's just say it was alcohol, he got tipsy, now he's floating away or swimming away, being swept away in the river. Can't get back on the surface. Don't be like that guy. Maybe some of you are experiencing other people who are in this energy, and you're being like under this slight peer pressure. Don't be swept in the river like this person. Okay, you still have two standing cups with good water in it. Don't accept cups like this. Okay, so what that's telling me is that don't deal with your emotions the way that you've seen other people deal with their emotions, and let them be swept away under their circumstances, and let them become overwhelmed, down and out, devastated in their circumstances. Process your emotions differently. First, by acknowledging your emotions, not by drowning yourself out with addictions. Because I mean, you're not trying to see it, you're not trying to recognize what the issue is, to recognize the issue that you feel within yourself. Label that emotion and say, okay, this is what's making me feel deep down sorrow and woes. You are devastated. Okay, why? This is what you need to ask yourself, or this is what you are asking someone else. Someone else is not happy. Okay, why? And maybe some of them are like being silent. They don't want to tell you why they're unhappy. Okay, let's see. Moving on now, we're going to talk about the moon energy. Now, moon for me is the energy of a mirage. It makes things appear like something is there when in actuality it is not. And this is usually coming out when you feel disoriented, where you feel like there is a nameless apprehension that you feel, but you really can't express or describe. So this is like you feel bad, you feel sad, you feel guilty, you feel whatever, right? You feel devastated, but why? Why do you feel devastated? This is somebody needs to be careful with like delusions and the stories that they tell themselves. Again, it's falling back into the excuses. What somebody is doing is reliving their painful experience from the same perspective that they experienced that circumstance in the first place. When instead they need to, if they're going to rethink and relive this experience, they have to look at it from an objective lens. They're experiencing this as if it's happening again to them, when instead they need to look at this experience from an objective point of view. So meaning looking outside in, you're not looking at the situation how you experienced it, but you're looking at it as if you're watching an episode of TV or something, right? That way you can make a clear judgment about what actually happened and what it is that you were truly supposed to learn or process, heal from, forgive. This is what someone is having a difficult time doing. They're being too subjective in the situation. They're trying to hold on tight to the feelings that they felt rather than releasing the feelings so that the lesson and the wisdom can surface. Why are you not letting some wisdom surface? Somebody could be having nightmares at this time. Again, those nightmares are usually something that we get that our inner selves, our subconscious is like, look, you need to pay attention to this. So I'm going to make you pay attention to this. I'm going to scare you because this has to be acknowledged. Like your subconscious is just throwing this at you. And it's because what your subconscious wants, it wants it to be acknowledged. It wants it to process this pain so that it don't have to relive it every day. It wanna get the point and move on. It wanna heal. So it's like, all right, look, get this out the way, deal with this, acknowledge this, so I can do something else. Co-create another experience, a better experience, you know? Let's see, what is this moon energy here for the collective? It says either right now or in the past, you were surrounded by people that yield. So that could be what you're having nightmares about, people that you had confrontations with, people that you had to leave behind, people that made you feel little. But now you're being made aware that good communication doesn't involve yelling. Good communication doesn't involve being emotional. emotionally charged. You can be calm when you talk. You can be calm when you communicate your thoughts and your emotions. You can talk about emotions. Some of you don't even talk about emotions. Some of you don't even talk about how you feel with the other person or about something. You keep things to yourself. So some of you are in the process of learning how to share what you feel, not being so defensive about your emotions. Sometimes other people need to hear how you feel because they care. So in some way, shape or form, some of you need to know that it's a bit selfish to hide what you feel from another person. You need to share what you feel with another person, because I feel like in some circumstances, depending on what situation you're in, this person deserves to know what you feel. So you holding back, that's being selfish, that's being defensive. And it could be because you're afraid to acknowledge an emotion that may be hurtful to that other person or even to yourself. Maybe this is a truth that you don't want to admit, which is why the moon is here as a secret. But another thing is the Queen of Swords is here in reverse. Now for me as a reader, whenever the Queen of Swords come out, regardless, a bright this is saying, okay, I'm trying to make sure if everything adds up. Is the information correct? Does everything make sense? When it's in reverse, that means she found an issue, she found a problem, she found a discrepancy. Something has a loophole in the details that she collected. The conclusion that she made, that's the thing, she couldn't make a conclusion, so something is missing. And the Queen of Swords knows this, and she's going to find out what the truth is, because she sees that what's being presented in front of her is not the truth, but it is in fact a mirage. She was, look, this is exactly how it was in the board. She's looking right at the mirage, and she's like, What is the truth here? What is the truth here? Okay. So to talk about the Queen of Swords now, the Queen of Swords is the energy of being inquisitive. This is a very curious energy where you are examining the affairs of other people and you are asking questions. Okay, you are making investigations. Usually the Queen of Swords, she does this silently. But when she knows that she's looking at a fallacy, she speaks up. So you're being asked to speak up, collective. Speak about what you truly think and feel. Be honest. Don't lie. And don't treat people as if they're clueless, or don't belittle them, because the Queen of Swords in reverse now, she can have a very, very sharp tongue. She could be very cruel, rude, and have little regard for how she make other people feel, especially if they feel bad and sad. She can give little cares. Don't be this way. I feel like this is something you need to carry. You need to cater to an emotion, whether it's yours or that of another's. Or someone needs to cater to your emotions, collective. You know your situation. You know how this message applies to you. Somebody here needs to admit the fact that whatever excuses that they have are not excuses as to why they keep up these addictive behaviors, relationships, toxic patterns, thinking patterns, mindsets, habits, routines, whatever. There is no excuses. This is just something that is just unacceptable. However you truly feel, share that. Let that person know. Stop being secretive. Hear what that person has to say. Learn to listen to their pain, their sorrows. Somebody actually may have it worse than you, collective. Than you having it worse than them. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Definitely here somebody has an emotional wall put up. They need to let that wall down. They need to address those emotions that they feel before they get consumed by it. Like I said, like the guy in the river. He's going to sink. And don't think that you know everything, collective, about a situation, because there could be some information that could be hidden from you. So I wouldn't be so quick to defend this, to justify this, because this thing that you're being asked to release is for your greatest good. So especially if this is like a relationship, and let's say like somebody's like, oh, that person is no good for you, and you're like, what? You don't know what you're talking about. That person loves me, right? There could be something about this person that you don't know about. If it's not about a person, fill in the blank. It could be about a job. It could be about a diet routine. It could be about whatever. You think you know, but you don't. What is this Queen of Swords? Flat out, somebody's lying. I'm just looking like that. Right now, it's saying, or in the past, excuse me, you didn't understand why you moved locations frequently. So if you are noticing that somebody is moving back and forth from here to there and everywhere, red flag. What you are now creating is a stable living environment for yourself that is predictable, something that you can expect. You know what's going to happen next. Again, you are creating a stable living environment for yourself that is predictable. You know what's going to happen next. You can know what to expect. So if you feel like you don't know what's going to happen next with an individual, with a job, or you just feel like things are just too much up in the air, but yet you're defending this and just saying, oh, it's going to work, or oh, this is going to happen, or oh, this is going to make sense, or oh, this is good, but things are not stable, or things are not consistent, or the story is not the same, but it keeps changing from detail to detail, red flag. You can be around a negative influence, and it's going to interfere with things that are good for you. Find a better way to heal your anger. This negative emotion comes back full circle. Vengeful. Be very mindful of a very vengeful energy, whether that is your own collective or that of another person around you. Okay, so let's see here. What are some messages that could benefit you from your higher self? We're going to use this deck here. It's kind of worn because I used it already. Let's see. Messages from the higher self of the collective. Let's see. Some of you could be dealing with Scorpios or Libras. Maybe even Pisces for a few of you. Especially if you are a Gemini. Okay, so your higher self is saying that you are now ready for the change, no matter how big or small. It is time. Whatever changes that you've been feeling called to make, it's time. Those changes, regardless of how scary or how sad or angry they may make you, it's time for the change. Accept it. Because again, it's asking you to make this change, because when was the last time you had a good laugh? When was the last time you was able to be silly? It might have been a long time, so maybe it's time for a change. Okay? Can I get another message from the collective's higher self, please? Okay. The higher self of the collective is saying you can't hold in these emotions. You need to feel them. You are sad, and crying is closer to healing. So if you are sad, collective, be sad. Address it. Don't try to drown it out. Don't try to be pretend happy. Don't try to fake it till you make it worse to more sadness that you gotta pretend to be happy about. No. You're sad. You're angry. You're pissed off. You don't want to be here. Then leave. Leave by addressing the emotion, accepting it, and then releasing it and putting yourself in a different circumstance to feel better, to feel happier, to feel sillier. Like that other card said. Okay. Your higher self is saying you know that you're better than this. You deserve better because you truly are a good soul. So whatever this is that you're dealing with or tolerating, you know that you don't need this. Okay? So to go ahead and conclude, I'm going to use this deck. I haven't used this deck in a while. Let me get it. It's the Phenology deck. We're going to read this Phenology deck. I'm using this one too because the day that I am filming this is actually on the day of the full moon in Sagittarius, so I follow Vedic astrology, so it's really the full moon in Scorpio, so that placement or that time frame can be significant for you, especially since we're talking about changes. Yeah, we're talking about changes, so yeah, full moon Scorpio. Let's see, what else do we have for the collective of the negative interference? Okay, it says meditate and contemplate, a time for healing. Just wanted to show you those, but I only want one card. And then I'm going to be pulling your additional cards that you had chose from your options. All right, that is the card. We are going to put that back here, scoot that down, and then get the book. Here it is. Okay, let's see what you got. All right, we got new moon in Virgo energy, a time to give rather than take. Okay, so let's see what this talks about. Oh, and I went right to the page. Ain't that wonderful? Okay. So, new moon in Virgo. When this card comes up, it's time for you to take stock of your situation. Where are you, and where do you want to go? The new moon energy of this card suggests a restart. And the Virgo energy suggests you make that restart a clever one that's simple and well organized. Virgo also has a strong health aspect to it. So if you've been unwell, this card suggests that your health is on the up. Virgo loves clean eating and alternative therapies. So add these into your routines now, however you've been feeling. If a situation is blocked at the moment, it could be that you're overanalyzing things or being too critical. It's time to ask less what someone else can do for you and to think more about what you can do for others. Ain't that the message of the reading? It says recommit to a healthy morning and evening routines. Gradual improvements are coming. Pay attention to detail if you want success without being pedantic. Be of service to others and love and money will follow. And the person you're asking about is reliable. Again, the person you are asking about is reliable. Okay? So some of you also may want to pay attention to your Virgo placement as well, or if you are Virgo, this message could significantly be helpful to you. Okay? So that does conclude the collective message for the negative interference that you want to pay particular attention to this week from whenever you watch this. But in regards to your options that you chose, we are going to be pulling from the trigger deck. And we're gonna see what exactly, which triggers that you may want to pay particular attention to this week so that you could be sure to not get too consumed by them. Okay, again, this is a negative influential interference reading. So what kind of negative influences will interfere with your life? Girl, that was a tongue twister. All right. So let's see. If you chose option number 1, let's see, what is your trigger this week? What is the trigger for option number 1? When you feel overwhelmed and not in control, your behaviors become manic and compulsive. So this is something that you want to be careful of. Be patient. Stop and think before you do and say. Things will be okay. All right? If you chose option number 2, Gemini. Okay, let's see. What is your trigger this week? Excuse me. Literally, some of you may need to be excused or excuse someone out the door. You will start an argument when you cannot verbalize what you are feeling correctly. So it is very important for you, option number two, to address your emotions before you let them bottle up and explode. Because when they do, I feel like you're going to try to make a point all mad and whatever, all stressed out, and your point is still not going to get across. So I feel like you're going to feel foolish at the end. So just be careful of this. You don't want to embarrass yourself. And then for those of you who chose the last option, option number three with Pluto, what is your trigger for the week? You need to be in a relationship as you don't know how to be alone. And that's something that needs to be addressed. So some of you may need to practice being in solitude. Because some of you have a hard time sitting with yourself, and that's not okay. You should enjoy being with yourself. Some of you are uncomfortable being by yourself. Why? Some of you have hidden shame. You need to address it and learn self-acceptance and forgiveness as well. Okay? So, collective, that has been your influential interference reading, and I hope that that will resonate for you throughout the course of the week. And if it does, feel free to come on back and leave your comments down below. As I, the reader, love reading your comments and your stories if you are so ever willing to share them with me. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, still, you get 30% off. Make sure that you use those links in that one particular post that I provided for you on the platform. And that way, when you click on those links, it will take you to those discounted prices. Okay? Because I appreciate your support and your service. And I just want to show you that I appreciate you. So if you still want to book with me and have your own personal situations read, just know that you get 30% off, and I appreciate you. So if you want to come back or look at all the other content that I have on the platform, feel free to do so. You can look at anything that's available here. And again, feel free to join me again on YouTube and the website for your self-reflections and extendeds. And if you haven't already, feel free to join me on my email list. That way you can get access to the goals of the week, okay? So that is all that I have for you today, and I hope to see you again next time. So until next time.